you have those visuals. But what we saw earlier in the day is also quite interesting. When can you recall in the past few years where a chief minister designate from another party has gone and met the outgoing chief minister who belonged to the party that has just been defeated comprehensively? Rajnath Singh is also on stage, of course, we believe now. And these are, of course, live visuals that we are bringing you from the swearing-in ceremony that is going to take place. Rajnath Singh on stage, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the priests from Jagannath Temple in Puri have arrived, and so has so many other dignitaries, including JP Nadda and others. But, going back to Naveen Patnaik and why and this is such a welcome step. So, there are, of course, I don't recall something like this happening because Mohan Majhi came out, he spoke to us. In fact, I was there when he came out and spoke to us. And when I asked him what went on in that meeting, he did say that, look, I sought his blessings. So there is a kind of mutual respect. And even though the BJP has defeated Mr. Patnaik's party, for Mr. Patnaik personally, he is, of course, a very, very strong brand in Odisha politics. And therefore, you see even the BJP respecting that space that Mr. Naveen Patnaik has created for himself. He may have been defeated, he may be the opposition, but he's still a statesman who's got a lot of grace and something that we also see with the invite. In fact, I can show you now more dignitaries are coming in. These are live pictures from where I am, which is, of course, the gate number 2. These, of course, are dignitaries driving in to the swearing-in ceremony here at, this Janata Maidan in the Odisha. So dignitaries driving in as we speak here, and all the, of course, officials from the other dignitaries and their cars, of course.
Yes, and Prime Minister Modi is also expected to arrive to attend this oath-taking ceremony shortly. We are expecting that to happen in 15 minutes from now. We are learning at around 5 p.m. the oath-taking ceremony will start soon after Prime Minister Modi arrives. Let me go back to Mr. Banerjee. Mr. Banerjee, we've been talking about Mohan Majhi as well. With my colleague Saurabh Gupta also, he's spoken to Mohan Majhi as well, how he was, narrating his experience of meeting Mr. Naveen Patnaik. He sought his blessings, and then Mr. Naveen Patnaik also gracefully has accepted to attend the swearing-in ceremony. He can be seen on the dais there in Bhubaneswar, where this mega swearing-in ceremony is taking place. How would you say, what would you say about the BJP's first chief ministerial pick for Odisha, Mohan Majhi, as well as the new 2 deputy chief ministers who've been picked by the BJP?
Well, Mr. Mohan Majhi himself is a kind of not a very well-known figure. He has been a 4-time legislator. He's been elected to the Odisha Assembly 4 times.
And a tribal face.
And definitely a tribal base, and he has a very modest background, and he started out very interestingly only as a sarpanch as late as 1997. So I would say that he is a self-made man, starting out from sarpanch, reaching this position of being the chief minister of a state. So it's been a remarkable journey, and I think Odisha also, we must keep in mind that Odisha has a very sizable tribal population. 23% of 4.5 crore people of Odisha are tribals. So this makes immense political sense, and this is not the first time that Odisha is having a tribal chief minister. I can recollect 2 others previously, Giridhar Gomang, 1999, and then there was another gentleman called Hemanand Biswal. He twice became the chief minister for very brief, short periods though. One word of caution, Odisha is stressed with tribal chief ministers in the past didn't really go down well. Gomang was kind of sacked after 9 months. Hemanando Biswal also though despite his stature, didn't really live up to the expectations. So I can only hope that Mr. Majhi breaks this jinx and really proves himself. And one particular point I'd like to highlight is, like, though he's an experienced legislator, he has been there for quite some time, 4 times elected 4 times as an MLA, but he really hasn't had any administrative exposure as yet. So his administrative skills, his administrative acumen, he is yet to prove. So entire Odisha will be watching Mr. Majhi, like how he performs his responsibility as the new chief minister. And the expectations are huge. So he will have a very brief honeymoon, I must say. And he will have to give results very early on.
Right.
And he will
Right.
his performance also notably will be measured against the performance of the outgoing Chief Minister, Naveen Patnaik.
Absolutely.
And that's a very high benchmark to compare with.
But yes, okay. There is always the first time, of course. Not everybody, of course. I mean, Mr. Naveen Patnaik, if we specifically talk about, he's had a 24-year reign in Odisha, but he has considerable experience, and that of course can't be compared to Mohan Majhi's tenure as a 4-time MLA. Of course, he has a lot of experience. He has a lot of challenges ahead of him, and a lot of expectations from him as well. We'll come back to the coverage here on the Odisha swearing in. It's time for a short break here. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome. We are in Rome, Italy, on our way to Apulia in the south of Italy, where the G7 summit is going to be held. The Prime Minister will be here tomorrow. It's his first international visit since the NDA 3 government came into power. Why is G7 important? Because it is a collection of the world's most powerful nations. India now is in fact got a bigger economy than 3 of those nations. Italy, the host, Canada, and also France. What are the key issues over here? Why is it important for India to be attending? Join me, Vishnu Shom, for very special programming right here on NDTV 24/7.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access.
Welcome back. After the break, a fire had broken out in a building housing workers in southern Kuwait, and we're learning at least 41 people have been killed. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar also had posted the information about the fire that erupted in a building here in southern Kuwait, saying that 41 deaths have been reported and more than 50 people have been hospitalized. There are Indians also who are amongst those who've been killed in this incident. All right, to talk more on that, Saeed Mahmood, the reporter from Arab Times, also now joins us on the broadcast, getting us more information about the situation on the ground. Saeed, what more can you tell us? We're learning at least 41 people have died in this fire incident in southern Kuwait. What more details are coming out?
The most important thing now is that the number sadly is increased to 43 deaths. And the injured people are in the hospital. They are receiving the medical care. Actually, the government is very concerned about the incident. The director of Kuwait municipality, Director General, he took stiff decisions. He suspended the deputy general director, and the fire force rushed to the spot. Also, Dr. Arash Shaki, His Excellency, the Indian ambassador, he rushed to the spot and he visited the injured in the hospital and reassured them that everything will be okay, and the embassy will do the utmost efforts to support them.
Right.
And now the number of injured is 30 injured, 30 Indian workers injured, and the dead number is 43 till moment.
How many Indian workers are believed to be trapped there. We're learning, as you've been telling us, there are at least 30 workers who are injured at the moment. Those who've been killed, amongst them also we're learning there have been some Indian workers who've died.
Yes, the deaths are 43. I said. Yes, but the total number of Indians workers living in that building, it was 196. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Could there be more people who could be trapped?
Yes. Until now, the firefighters are still doing work. 6 firefighters really have injured, but however, they are still working so hard.
Yes.
To do whatever can be done.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahmood, for speaking to NDTV and getting us all that information. Well, that is the latest we're picking at the moment. Well, the death toll has risen to 43 in the Kuwait fire incident, and the Indian embassy is in touch with the authorities on the ground. Also, the ambassador has gone to the hospital and met the victims there, also those who've been injured in this fire incident. All possible efforts are being made to provide assistance to those who are injured at the moment. Well, with that, it's time for a short break here. More continues on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome. We are in Rome, Italy, on our way to Apulia in the south of Italy, where the G7 summit is going to be held. The Prime Minister will be here tomorrow. It's his first international visit since the NDA 3 government came into power. Why is G7 important? Because it is a collection of the world's most powerful nations. India now is in fact got a bigger economy than 3 of those nations. Italy, the host, Canada and also France. What are the key issues over here? Why is it important for India to be attending? Join me, Vishnu Shom, for very special programming right here on NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
TDP chief and Chandrababu Naidu today took oath as Andhra Pradesh chief minister for the 4th time after his party scored a thumping win in the assembly polls held alongside the general election.
Let me give you a quick recap and let's discuss about how Sony used some brilliant marketing back in the 90s for its PlayStation. See, आज PlayStation बहुत ज़्यादा popular है, ये हम सभी जानते हैं. Almost globally it's very popular. Games हों या consoles हों, काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग इनको use करते हैं. But back in the days, back in the 90s, while Sony was trying to establish its PlayStation lineup, काफ़ी interesting marketing को Sony ने use किया था. जी हाँ, I'm talking about the very special scratch and sniff labels from the real driving simulator और FIFA गेम. और ये जो गेम की डिस्क्स मिलती थी, इनके ऊपर एक लेबल हुआ करता था जिसको जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करेंगे, यू वुड फील योरसेल्फ टू बी इन दैट एक्शन. मतलब जो रियल ड्राइविंग सिमुलेटर गेम था, उसमें जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करते थे, यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ पिट स्टॉप. और फीफा में यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ फुटबॉल फील्ड. क्या क्रेजी मार्केटिंग थी, बट ज़्यादा डिटेल में इसको नहीं किया गया था. बट देन अगेन, यू नो, विद इन अ फ्यू ईयर्स ऑफ इट्स लॉन्च, फाइनली अभी ग्लोबल स्केल पे प्लेस्टेशन इज रियली पॉपुलर.
Hello and welcome. We are in Rome, Italy, on our way to Apulia in the south of Italy, where the G7 summit is going to be held. The Prime Minister will be here tomorrow. It's his first international visit since the NDA 3 government came into power. Why is G7 important? Because it is a collection of the world's most powerful nations. India now is in fact got a bigger economy than 3 of those nations. Italy, the host, Canada and also France. What are the key issues over here? Why is it important for India to be attending? Join me, Vishnu Shom, for very special programming right here on NDTV 24/7.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity."
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
At least 41 people have been killed after a fire broke out in a building housing workers in Kuwait's Mangaf city. Several Indians are feared dead. The Indian embassy confirms that 30 Indians have been injured. Odisha gets its first BJP Chief Minister. Mohan Majhi is BJP's tribal face in Odisha. He will be sworn in a short while from now. Two Deputy Chief Ministers will also take oath. The Prime Minister will attend the oath-taking ceremony. In the sensational murder case in Karnataka, where a young man, Swami, was murdered, now actors Darshan and Pavitra are taken to the location. The cops recreate the scene where the body was dumped. The man is accused of having sent obscene messages to Pavitra. Chandrababu Naidu takes oath as the Andhra Chief Minister for the 4th term. So it's Chandrababu 4.0. Jansena Chief Pawan Kalyan is also part of the Naidu cabinet. He is sworn in. And in Jammu and Kashmir, encounter a third attack in 3 days, and 2 terrorists have been killed in Kathua. The ADG Jammu says joint operation to hunt for more terrorists. A CRPF Jawan was killed in the terror attack. 3 days, 3 terror incidents. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Gargi Rawat, and our top story, the massive fire that broke out in a building in Kuwait. Now the number of dead has gone up. It's 43 people who have been killed after this fire broke out in a building housing workers in Kuwait's Mangaf city. It's a terrible, a fire. If we can show you those visuals of the fire, there you can see the ambassador visiting the hospital where several injured workers were brought to. What the embassy has confirmed so far is that 30 Indians have been injured. It's also feared that several Indians have been killed in this massive fire in this building that housed several workers. This fire broke out in the morning hours. Let's go across to Ghazali now for more. And Ghazali, give us more details of what we know so far. What is confirmed to us is that 30 Indians are injured. We saw those visuals shared by the Indian embassy there of the ambassador visiting them in hospital. Also, he's visited the building where the fire broke out.
Yeah, so what we know so far is that around 160 people and workers of the same company. It is owned by a Malayali person, is a Malayali owner of that company. had put around 160 workers in that building. The building caught fire at around 6 a.m. local time when one of the laborers, perhaps, who works for the company was cooking something, and then there was a spark and then the entire building caught fire. We are also picking up that some people tried to jump from the building to escape the fire and they were killed there. But as of now, the total number of people who are killed are 43. 30 Indians are injured and admitted in the hospital. Out of the 43 who were killed in this fire incident, we don't yet know the number of Indians in that particular list. So the Indian ambassador has visited the hospital. So that shows that around 30 people, 30 Indians are injured. They're admitted in hospital. Total killed are 43. Number of Indians are not known yet, but sources are claiming that there are some Indians among those who have been killed in this incident. The Interior Minister of Kuwait has also said that all those responsible for it, the owner of the company who had put crammed people in that building, perhaps he was not allowed to put so many number of people in that 6-story building. He will also face the action. He has also sought the action against janitor and all those responsible for this mismanagement, that why so many people were putting up in that 6-story building. So that will also be under the probe, is something which the Kuwait's Interior Minister has said.
All right, thanks so much, Ghazali. We're also joined by Saeed Mahmood, reporter, Arab Times. Thank you so much for speaking to us. What more can you share with us about the situation there? A terrible fire they're breaking out and 43 people have been killed.
Yes, the situation is not defined yet because they are searching, investigating the reasons behind the incident. It's not defined yet. Actually, it was reported that the ground floor included some gas cylinders. It may, I'm guessing, this is the reason that the fire was bigger than usual.
All right, and we believe this was a building that housed workers only, that there were many, workers that were just living in this building that was owned by, it seems, a Malayali, an Indian owned this building?
Yes, this was reported, and investigations will be conducted to see, to define the liability and the responsibilities, and investigations will start soon. Until now, the forensic evidence tries to identify some workers through the DNA and sometimes through the biometrical fingerprints, because some corpses are not clear, are not easy to define because of the burning.
All right, Saeed Mahmood, thank you so much for speaking to us. So as you can see, those visuals, a terrible fire breaking out in the early hours in this 6-story building housing workers, many of them from India. 43 people have died in this fire. The Indian embassy has confirmed that 30 Indians have been injured. They are in hospital. The Indian ambassador also was at the spot, and the authorities there in Kuwait saying they'll take strict action if rules were flouted in this building.
هذا القرار اللي المفروض يطلع من زمان ويتنشطون في البلدية. مع الأسف كان في إهمال من تجار العقارات علشان يعملون مخالفات، وهذه نتيجة المخالفات. اليوم للحين وأنا أكلمكم 41 واحد متوفي.
All right, we'll continue to get you the latest there, but let's move across now to Odisha, where the first BJP chief minister of the state is going to be taking oath. Mohan Majhi is the BJP's tribal face in Odisha. As you can see, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also there. It's been a busy day for him. Earlier today, he was at Chandrababu Naidu's swearing in, as Chandrababu Naidu was sworn in for the 4th time in Odisha, in Andhra Pradesh, and now 4-time MLA. Mohan Charan Majhi is going to be the new chief minister of Odisha. The 52-year-old is a prominent tribal face in the state, and also 2 deputy chief ministers are going to be sworn in. Remember, this was announced yesterday after the meeting where Rajnath Singh was the central observer. Kanakvardhan Singh Deo and Pravati Parida will be the 2 deputies to Mohan Charan Majhi, who earlier today also visited Naveen Patnaik, the former chief minister, inviting him to attend this ceremony. Let's go go across to Saurabh now, who joins us for more. And Saurabh, in just a short while from now, Odisha to get its first BJP Chief Minister.
Yes, like I was saying, the Prime Minister has arrived and in fact the ceremony has started, and I think of course we would be having those live visuals of the ceremony that's taking place. In fact, the ceremony has started, so if we could cut to those pictures, that is of course the swearing in ceremony that's taking place.
Yes, we are showing those visuals.
So of course this is the swearing in ceremony of Mohan Majhi, the new Chief Minister of Odisha. On stage, of course, is Naveen Patnaik, the former Chief Minister, outgoing Chief Minister. You also have Prime Minister Narendra Modi attending, Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and several other top leaders of the BJP, Jagat Prakash Nadda, Union Home Minister Amit Shah.
श्री मोहन चरण माझी ईश्वरंक नाम रे शपथ करुअछि जे मु विधि द्वारा प्रतिष्ठित भारतर संविधान प्रति श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखिबी, भारतर सार्वभौमत्व और अखंडता रक्षा करिबी, ओडिशा राज्यर मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर कर्तव्य श्रद्धा और शुद्ध अंतरकरण रे निर्वाह करिबी एवं बिना भय बा पक्षपात रे, बिना अनुराग बा देश रे सबु प्रकार लोकंक प्रति संविधान और विधि अनुसार न्याय प्रदान करिबी। मु श्री मोहन चरण माझी ईश्वरंक नाम रे शपथ करुअछि जे जो विषय राज्यर मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर विचार को अणाजिब बा मते ज्ञात हब ताहाकु एपरी मुख्यमंत्री रूपे मोर कर्तव्यर समुचित निर्वाह निमित्त जेपरी आवश्यक हब तत् भिन्न प्रत्यक्ष बा परोक्ष भावे कौनसी व्यक्ति बा व्यक्ति माननकु जणाइबी नहीं बा प्रकट करिबी नहीं। धन्यवाद।
All right, Saurabh there with us. Saurabh, so now the first BJP Chief Minister of Odisha. We just saw Mohan Charan Majhi taking oath, the four-time MLA, and this time chosen as the Chief Minister. Also, two Deputy Chief Ministers will be taking oath shortly, and it's been a balancing act for the BJP there.
Absolutely, the two others who are going to take oath after him are also interesting, and in fact, Kanakvardhan Singh Deo is someone is of course taking oath now. KV Singh Deo is taking oath. He's of course the Deputy Chief Minister. He's a six-term MLA. He's a royal, and also he's of course someone who's been a minister earlier when the BJP and the BJD were in alliance many years ago. It seems actually like a long time, but it wasn't really that long ago. But now, of course, this time around, the BJP is forming government on its own. And therefore, Mr. Kanakvardhan Singh Deo, whom many also believe could have been one of the contenders for the Chief Minister, is now Deputy Chief Minister. Along with him, Pravati Parida, a woman from the coastal area, first-time MLA, Nimapada MLA, also becoming Deputy Chief Minister. So the Deputy Chief Ministers are now taking oath, and like you said, it's a very interesting balancing act. On one side, you have experience. On one side, you have a woman face. You have the coastal region getting representation. You have the tribal communities getting representation in the Chief Minister's position. And what's very interesting to note, if you note the political reasoning behind it, look at the message that the BJP is trying to send through Odisha. First, of course, President Draupadi Murmu, a tribal lady, elevated, elected to the highest constitutional post in this country, the President of India. Then, of course, even within Odisha, and of course she's from Odisha, but now, and from the Mayurbhanj district. And now, of course, you have Mohan Majhi, who's again from the tribal community, from Keonjhar. He's the MLA from Keonjhar. And of course, he's been given the Chief Minister's post. But that's not to say that the other communities haven't been represented. In fact, you have Mr. KV Singh Deo and also, Pravati Parida, who are taking oath. So it is a very tightrope walk and a balancing act for the BJP, because this is their first time that they're forming a government. And in all of this, they're also looking into aspects of political reality, because that's something that they will have to address. And if they want it to be a long-lasting one, remember the last person who was in office as the Chief Minister continued for 24 years. And that's a pretty strong template that Naveen Patnaik has set in terms of putting Odisha on the global sports map, development and all of that. But again, there were complaints that the BJP had. They had raised it in the assembly. They went to the people with those issues. And Naveen Patnaik is also on stage. So it's a very, it's a mix of a bittersweet moment. And that is something that, of course, we will see in the politics that will come. Because remember, Mohan Majhi, he's taken oath. He's now the Chief Minister of Odisha. But before this, he's also met, Naveen Patnaik earlier in the day at Naveen Patnaik's residence. And therefore, this is going to be an interesting election. It's going to be an interesting time for Odisha. And all eyes on how the BJP government functions here.
All right, we also have with us Ruben Banerjee, former Group Editor-in-Chief Outlook and author of the book Naveen Patnaik. And Ruben Banerjee, sort of talking about how Mr. Majhi had driven to Naveen Patnaik's residence and invited him to attend the swearing-in ceremony. And, it was nice to see that, nice to see this moment of friendliness, courtesy, political courtesy that unfortunately one doesn't see as often as one should these days. And it's quite a, tough act to follow in a sense. Naveen Patnaik, 24 years he's been the Chief Minister of Odisha, a very beloved leader of the state.
Well, truly, this is good optics. New Chief Minister visiting and going to invite the outgoing Chief Minister. Not the first time, of course.
Sure.
I remember when Mamata Banerjee came into power, Buddhadev Bhattacharya, the outgoing Chief Minister, attended her swearing-in. But these are to be welcomed, courtesy.
Yes, but that is also, a decade, ago. That's what I was saying. It's been a while. It's nice to see these sort of political courtesies.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a big day for the BJP, not just in Odisha, but also for the BJP central leadership. Not only because for the first time they have wrested power in Odisha, but we must also keep in mind that the BJP at the national level had been trying to expand its footprint. And they have been especially targeting the southern parts of the country and East India. South India has been kind of given the mixed results. East India, for the first time perhaps, they are broken in now through Odisha. West Bengal has been a tough cookie to crumble for them, but in Eastern India, Odisha is the first state that they have wrested. So I think this is a big momentous day for the BJP. And that is why you possibly see so many dignitaries and top BJP leaders, officials gracing the occasion. Because it's a big day and they would like to drive home the message that we are here, we have finally arrived in East India. And I think the next target would be a renewed attempt would be made to in West Bengal. So BJP certainly is going to exploit their big win in Odisha to its advantage.
No, absolutely. And it's a big victory for their Look East policy, something that was announced, before the last Odisha elections, and they did then Naveen Patnaik came back then. But now, the renewed energy with which they approached it. And also, there were some doubts created about Naveen Patnaik's health. There was doubts created about who was his heir. So all that, I think, led to this fertile sort of situation in which the BJP could gain as many seats as they did. The rout that the BJD has faced in the state, even now, questions over whether we'll see, the BJD coming back and challenging the BJP, whether we're going to see the Congress perhaps rise in this state, considering that they also managed, a few seats in the assembly.
Well, I would not write off Biju Janta Dal per se, though I would agree that possibly we have seen the end of Navin Patnaik's glorious political career. He could continue as the leader of the opposition. But given his age, he's already 77, 78, he's not keeping good health. It's so visible every time we see him on TV and hear him. So age possibly is not on his side, and I can't imagine seeing Navin Patnaik coming back to power in 2029 when the state holds the next general elections. But I will not write off Biju Janta Dal. It's still a formidable force. And riding on Navin Patnaik, the existing popularity, and the goodwill that he still enjoys, I think Biju Janta Dal remains a formidable force. It has been defeated, but it has not been wiped out of the state. They still have 51 legislators in the House of 147 member House. So they are out there in strength. And if they can play their cards well, I think they are a formidable force. The challenge now is that the Biju Janta Dal must stay together. They are out of power after a very, very long time. They are not used to being in the opposition. So this would definitely be a test of their character. They need to stick together, and till the time Navin Babu is around, of course, he would lead the party. He is definitely the tallest leader, and he still retains a lot of goodwill. And you just can't write off Biju Janta Dal as it. So I think a lot depends on how the new BJP government in the state conducts itself. A lot rides on the new chief minister's administrative acumen, his skills. So the state will be keenly watching the new government. The expectations are pretty high. So the government needs to deliver and deliver very quickly.
Right. Saurabh also still there with us as the swearing-in has taken place of the Chief Minister and the two Deputy Chief Ministers. Saurabh, as we were just discussing about the challenges for the new Chief Minister, this whole new administration that's going to come in, the government, what have the reactions been of the people there? You've been speaking to them. Navin Babu was somebody who was extremely popular, but are they now ready for change in Odisha?
Well, of course, a lot of newly elected BJP MLAs are coming out, and of course, I will have shortly with me Upasana Mahapatra, who's of course one of the youngest MLAs in this assembly, and she will join us shortly. But this is going to be, of course, a very, very important moment for Odisha politics and for the BJP especially, because they have a lot of first-time MLAs. In fact, once she's done with the selfies, she would be able to join us here. So we'll try and get in a word with her, shortly here before we actually.
Saurabh, you can go ahead if you need to just, find her. Then you can get her. We will, continue for the moment. And Ruben is also there with us. So there you can see a 52-year-old tribal leader, the tribal face for the BJP in Odisha. Was sworn in just a short while ago. Four-time MLA Mohan Charan Majhi is now the Chief Minister. Let's go back to Saurabh now for more.
Have with us Upasana, and of course, we have with us Upasana Mahapatra, of course, the youngest MLA in the Odisha Assembly. Upasana, firstly, congratulations. Your party has formed a government. How does it feel?
We are very excited. I think this change did not come about in one day. All the Karyakartas, all the members of Modi Parivar worked very hard. They worked relentlessly and tirelessly day in and day out. And after that, we are able to see the development that we're seeing today.
And for you personally, this has been a hard-fought election, and you've won from Brahmagiri, a constituency earlier represented by your father, whom everyone remembers very fondly. But tell me something, the Prime Minister is here. It's a big moment for the BJP to have formed government and especially to have unseated Mr. Naveen Patnaik, who's such a behemoth in Odisha politics.
Absolutely. I think it's a monumental moment, but I believe it was long impending. We have seen development in cities, we have development, we've seen the face value of it. But then have you been to the rural areas, have you been to more remote areas? A lot of development is long impending. I can speak for my constituency, Brahmagiri, which is still very backward. It has not been developed as much as it should have. It has not, the pace of development is not aligned with today's day and age. So there's a lot more work to do, and I believe under double engine Sarkar, under the leadership of a Karyakarta of Modi ji, Odisha will flourish.
And this is the this is the time of the aspirational Odia, and you represent the aspirational Odia population, the young people. You've studied yourself in Mumbai, and you've now come back to serve your people, because I remember years ago you told me that you wanted to be in Brahmagiri and join politics. So this must be, for the generation that is now growing up in Odisha, this must be a big moment to bring about this change.
Absolutely. I think as a Gen Z representative, I am very proud, but also I am very aware of the responsibilities that I have right now. Also, I acknowledge the privilege that I have. My father was a strong leader of the Odisha Congress, and after his death, I've joined the BJP, and I have worked tirelessly as a Bharatiya Janta Party Karyakarta, and hard work has gotten all of us, our organization here, and today we're breathing in a new Odisha, which is a matter of pride for all of us.
Also, I must bring this up. Puri is a very, highly respected seat. It's a prestige seat for any party in Odisha. And your constituency is within the Puri constituency. And Sambit Patra has won from there. Last time he lost narrowly. How does that feel? Because that means you would have contributed to that win also.
It's not such a new thing. It's not a very big thing for me, I would say, because I've seen Sambit Patra so closely. He's worked day in and day out. He's worked tirelessly, and never before have we seen an MP candidate or an MP working so hard on ground. So once you see a man working so hard on ground, you just know it's bound to happen. So we're not very surprised. We were very ready for Sambit Bhai's victory. Although for ourselves, if I were to speak for myself, we had to work really, really hard. We had to take a lot of inspiration from Sambit Bhai and work.
And last question before I let you go. Very interesting. A woman chief minister, deputy chief minister taking oath. That many would say is political calculation, but it also symbolically means a lot.
Absolutely. And if you see our entire cabinet and the chief minister face also, you'll see that this is a victory of the common man of Odisha. He represents our indigenous tribes, he represents the common man of Odisha, and as for Pravati Appa, she represents every woman of Odisha. So I think it is a matter of pride for all of us as Bharatiya Janta Party Karyakartas and Odiyas who fought tirelessly for Odia Asmita.
Upasana, thank you so much for speaking to us. Wishing you a lovely career ahead. I'll just do a few questions in Hindi very quickly. हमारे साथ उपासना महापात्रा है जो इस वक्त NDTV इंडिया पे हमारे साथ है. उपासना, आपसे जानना चाहेंगे, सबसे पहले तो आपने जीता है उड़ीसा विधानसभा में सबसे नौजवान.
They're continuing that interview in Hindi as well, but that is the big breaking news right now. A new government in Odisha. The BJP has taken over, a big victory for their Look East policy, and they have their first chief minister. Mohan Majhi is the first BJP chief minister of Odisha. Two deputy chief ministers also sworn in. With that, we'll slip into a short break and return with more.
Brought to you by.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
Finally, I'm here. Finally, this is the time जहाँ पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूँ in this section, which happens to be my favorite as well, and it's called Ask TG. Let's see इस week हमारे पास में कौन से सवाल हैं. To be honest, in Android TV, we don't have any.
Welcome back. Let's get you the latest on the murder case in Karnataka that has shaken up the film industry there. No end to trouble for sandalwood actor Darshan Thugadeepa in the Renuka Swamy murder case. The Karnataka police today visited the alleged crime spot. This is where the spot where the body had been dumped of the 33-year-old man who was killed. The police took 4 of the accused to the place where the body of the victim was dumped. Initially, Darshan was not among the 4 accused who were taken to the spot, but later he too was brought there along with his friend Pavitra, who this man was accused of sending obscene messages to. So the cops visited the scene where the body was dumped. There were, remember, 2 places in which this crime, which was involving, it was one place was where the man was murdered and the other place where the body was then later dumped and discovered. In all, 13 people have been arrested. The actor Darshan was arrested yesterday from his Mysuru farmhouse, and this is after questioning the people involved in the murder. He has been sent to 6-day police custody, and Pavitra Gowda, his partner too, was questioned in this entire matter. Let's just listen into what Home Minister of Karnataka G. Parmeshwar had to say.
Law is the same to everybody. The same law is applicable to me and to him, and law will take its own action. How can anybody, unless it is proved otherwise, he has to be taken under the law.
We come to you from the scene of crime. This is exactly the place where the body of Renuka Swamy, 33-year-old, was found, which triggered a series of investigation procedures that the Bengaluru police followed, and they rounded up on 10 people, and upon interrogation, actor Darshan's name, famous Kannada actor's involvement seemed to surface. Yesterday, actor Darshan was picked up for questioning, and then by evening, they recorded the arrest here. Today, 4 of them who are part of the accused circle were brought in for a spot inquest at around 1 p.m. today. It was this very place where they assembled to corroborate evidences, circumstantial evidences, and corroborate them with the statements that were recorded. Crucial 2 pieces of information still needs to be determined and investigated. 1, was actor Darshan there at the scene of crime along with his touted girlfriend Pavitra Gowda? 2, was this crime done at the behest of actor Darshan? These are questions that are still remaining unanswered. Now, what is important is that the reason why actor Darshan's involvement here becomes crucial is because of the lewd comments that were made public on social media by Renuka Swamy, the deceased here, and this was directly targeted at Pavitra Gowda. Could this have been motive behind this murder is also something that needs investigation. Actor Darshan would also be brought in here for a spot inquest. When is also another question that is doing the rounds. Investigative procedures as well as legal procedures. Would actor Darshan's counsel would also be moving an application for bail? These are some of the information that we are gathering at this point in time, and every piece of evidence points to actor Darshan's involvement at the scene of crime, mainly because of the CCTV footage that has recorded the vehicle that was passing through. This vehicle could be belonging to Darshan, but was he present there inside the vehicle? Was he present there at the scene of crime or not? Because the assaults seem to have happened elsewhere and the body seems to have been dumped here. A lot of key questions here, a lot of key interest as well, because we are talking of a high-profile case here which involves a famous Kannada superstar actor Darshan. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
All right, now shift focus to Maharashtra, where the Mahapot boiler continues to simmer ahead of assembly polls in the state. A meeting of Shiv Sena UBT was called today regarding assembly polls on 288 seats in Maharashtra, and all Shiv Sena leaders, including Uddhav Thackeray, attended this meeting. On the other hand, the NCP also held a press conference to clear the air over internal disputes. Sunil Tatkare, reiterating the narrative was set by the opposition were false. He also said that MLAs from the opposite camp are in touch with them as well.
आज की बैठक अहम इसलिए थी कि शिवसेना जो 288 विधानसभा के कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी इस महाराष्ट्र में है, 288 जगह के लिए शिवसेना के संपर्क के लिए प्रमुख शिवसेना ने अपॉइंट किए हैं। ये वहाँ जाके वहाँ का पूरा जायज़ा लेते हैं, काम करते हैं, रिव्यू लेते हैं और शिवसैनिकों को जो सूचना है जो उद्धव जी की वो देते हैं। इनको सब कुछ उद्धव जी ने बुलाया था क्योंकि आने वाले समय विधानसभा जो इलेक्शन होने जा रहा है उसमें तैयारी हमारी अच्छी तरीके से पूरे 288 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में होनी चाहिए। हम तो अलायंस से लड़ने वाले हैं, लेकिन ताकत हमारे हर जगह होनी चाहिए। इस हेतु से मीटिंग हुई और इसमें आने वाले समय में 8 दिन में इसका पहला रिव्यू होने वाला है और फिर हर महीने को रिव्यू होने वाला है।
अब जब नीट स्कैम को लेकर भी सर काफ़ी ज़्यादा चर्चा होने लगी है, नीट के जो विद्यार्थी हैं वो इसको लेकर अब जो है अपनी नाराज़गी जता रहे हैं, आप क्या बोलेंगे? क्या नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी द्वारा एक बार फिर से जो है रिपब्लिश किया जाना चाहिए रिजल्ट?
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि जिस प्रकार इसका जो एग्ज़ाम हुआ उसमें जिस प्रकार पार्शलिटी हुई है, उसमें गैर व्यवहार हुआ है। हम समझते थे नीट जो केंद्र के माध्यम से जो एग्ज़ाम होती है वो निष्पक्ष होती है, छात्रों के लिए अच्छी होती है, लेकिन अभी इस साल के एग्ज़ाम से ये भांडाफोड़ हुआ है। ये कुछ छात्राओं को सपोर्ट करने वाली है। शायद इसमें भी बड़े पैमाने में गैर व्यवहार हुआ है, इसलिए जो अनेक विद्यार्थियों पे छात्रों पे अन्याय हुआ वो अन्याय दूर होने की जरूरत है।
लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद अब मनोज जरांगे पाटिल और मराठा रिजर्वेशन को लेकर मुद्दा वापस गर्माता हुआ नजर आ रहा है। सभी पार्टी के नेता जाकर अटेंडेंस में मनोज जरांगे पाटिल से मिल रहे हैं। क्या इस बार के विधानसभा चुनाव में भी आप लोग मुनाफा देख रहे हैं इस मुद्दे से?
हम मुनाफा घाटा इसमें नहीं देखते। मराठा समाज पे जो अन्याय हो रहा है वो इसमें देखने की ज़रूरत है। मनोज जरांगे जिस प्रकार आंदोलन कर रहे हैं उन पे लाठीचार्ज हुआ है, अन्याय हुआ है, वो भी सरकार दूर नहीं कर रही। अगर उनका काम नहीं करना था, उनकी मांगे पूरी नहीं करनी तो महाराष्ट्र के सीएम ने जाके क्यों गुलाल लिया, क्यों उसको झूठ आश्वासन दिया? इसलिए उसको जो आश्वासन उन्होंने जो आश्वासन दिया वो पूरा करने की ज़रूरत है।
Well, let's go across to Radhika now for more. And Radhika, so this, stress within the various alliances continues. Firstly, Uddhav Thackeray, Shiv Sena holding a meeting. Also, rumblings in the NCP. All right, so the NCP, they're claiming that the opposition MLAs, that some are in touch with them. Meanwhile, remember, there has been some tension between the Uddhav Shiv Sena as well as the Congress with Uddhav Thackeray going ahead and making certain decisions. And today, the meeting of all regarding the assembly polls that are coming up. Let's go across to Radhika for more. Radhika, what is the latest?
Well, multiple meetings taking place post Sabha election is concerned. They are in a better position considering the performance that they displayed during Lok Sabha elections. They won 30 seats of 48. Now, of course, they are in action mode. Multiple meetings ahead of assembly elections. Uddhav Thackeray chairing meet with several members as far as different constituencies in Maharashtra are concerned, and taking action and plans before elections. Now, as far as NCP is concerned, there is a power struggle of sorts happening within Mahayuti, be it Sena or NCP, both of them wanting cabinet and ministerial berths. NCP refusing to take ministerial berths, wanting cabinet berths. Sena wanting more ministerial berth as well as one cabinet berth, which is not given to them. So there is displeasure and discontent within Mahayuti as far as power sharing within centre is concerned. So that is being discussed. And NCP also, NCP Ajit Pawar also maintaining that none of their MLAs are in touch with the other side. However, MDA leaders coming out and saying that several of the leaders from NCP and Sena are in touch with them. They want to jump ship as there are a lot of internal tiffs in Mahayuti. So at this point, multiple meetings happening, both the alliances trying to iron out differences, but certainly power struggle within Mahayuti continuing at this point.
All right. Thanks so much, Radhika, for joining us with all those developments. Well, returning now to the story from Kuwait, where this massive fire broke out in a building there and 43 people have been killed. 30 Indians have been injured in the fire. Many are feared dead as well. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has posted on the fire and on this tragedy, saying that the fire mishap in Kuwait City is saddening. My thoughts are with all those who've lost their near and dear ones. I pray the injured recover at the earliest. The Indian Embassy in Kuwait is closely monitoring the situation and working with authorities there to assist the affected. Now, the Indian Embassy in Kuwait has also put out a call-in number for families to dial in for news of their loved ones. This fire took place early in the morning in this building that houses workers. Now, it was an Indian who owned this building, and that's why it's feared that many of those living in the building were also Indians. 43 people have died. 30 people have been injured, 30 Indians. The Indian ambassador was in the hospital as well as at the spot of the fire. Well, let's go across to Ghazali now, who joins us for the latest. And Ghazali, so, the Prime Minister also posting on this fire that has taken place. What more do we know at this point? A helpline number has also been shared, given that many families must be very anxious for information.
See, right now what we are getting to know is that around 43 people have been killed. Most of them are Indians, so exact number of Indians are not known yet. And this building was owned by somebody who is from Kerala, a Malayali businessman. And in the 6-story apartment, around more than 150 people or laborers were staying, is what we are being told by the local Kuwaiti reporters. And also 30 people are injured. Those 30 are Indians who are admitted in the hospital. The Indian ambassador there visited them, spoke to them. But we have also spoken to some of the nurses working in Kuwait hospitals, and they are saying that the identity or the contact with the family members have not yet been established, and that is why the helpline number by the embassy has been issued. So as of now, how many Indians are killed out of those 43 is not known yet, but sources are claiming that since the apartment was owned by an Indian and mostly Indian laborers are staying there, so majority of those 43 killed are Indians.
All right, a majority of the 43 killed are feared, are Indians, is what Ghazali is telling us, given that so many Indians lived here. And Ghazali, we believe this entire building, as you were saying, housed workers who are working in Kuwait without their families, so many of them were living here, and it was somebody cooking in the first floor or the ground floor that led to this unfortunate accident in which this massive fire blazed through the building.
Yeah, so this happened at around 6 a.m. local time in Kuwait when somebody was cooking on the ground floor, after which there was a spark and then fire spread throughout the building. And we are also being told that there were some people who also tried to jump out of the apartment to escape the fire, and they were killed. So, and now the Interior Minister of Kuwait has also ordered strict action against the janitor, against the owner, and whosoever was responsible for this carelessness, because you can imagine that in a 6-story building, more than 100 people were staying. So the minister also took an objection to that, saying that how can so many people be crammed in one 6-story building? So that is also under investigation. Right now, the only primary concern remains is the identity of those who were killed, as well as establishing contact with the family members back in India of those Indians who were injured and admitted in the hospital.
All right, Ghazali, thanks so much for joining us with those details. We're also now joined by Dr. Farah Naqvi, Assistant Professor at the American University there in Kuwait. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. A terrible, terrible tragedy. What can you share with us?
What I have read in the news is that it is first of all, it is a deeply sad and unfortunate incident that happened this morning. And it has, that toll has reached around, in fact, crossed 45. And as you must have read, that majority of the deceased are Indians. And several people are also injured, and they have been taken to the nearby hospitals and are being provided medical treatment. the medical teams are doing what they can in terms of providing the due medical care. And what I have read in the news is that this incident happened somewhere around 4 a.m. or early hours of the morning as per Kuwait time. And it happened because of a gas cylinder in the watchman's room. And around nearly 160 people were living, mostly workers in that building. In Kuwait, generally, when it comes to people living in society, so sometimes the companies rent out the whole buildings to workers. And then there are buildings that are dedicated only to family people, where you have the marriage certificate and also only those can rent those buildings. So this was one of the workers' building where around 160 people were have been mentioned to be living.
Right, and Farah, what can you tell us about, share more with us about this building, the area where it was? You said that it was mainly workers, so many Indians, Pakistanis, Asians living in these buildings.
Yeah, we cannot say that it is specifically an Indian area because it has happened in Mangaf area, to be specific. And Kuwait is a small country. There are many areas like there is Salmiya, there is Mangaf, there is Kuwait City and all. And most of the places have people, expats living. As you see, the Kuwait population is, I guess, around 4.8 million or something, out of which 3.3 million is expats only. And more than 1 million of which is Indians. So whichever building you rent, you have people who are living from across nationalities. For example, you will be living and you will have the neighbors who will be from Lebanon, from American, and so it is Indians or Pakistanis, so different nationalities all staying together. But there are buildings that get specifically dedicated to workers. So this was one of those buildings. In these buildings, generally, for example, one company may rent out the whole building and dedicate it to its workers. So this was this kind of a building. So it doesn't have mostly families. I mean, many times you see workers are from lower economic background and they have come all over here to make money, and they live in kind of sharing accommodations to save money and all. So this is this one kind of building.
In fact, the Indian ambassador also visited, the building where the fire broke out. It's going to be a big challenge for the Indian embassy to provide families with information, given so many injured, so many dead. There must be so many anxious relatives back home.
Yeah. I've read that the helpline numbers have been released for their assistance, and the news has come from the embassy also that they are ready to provide the fullest assistance. But of course, they will be providing all forms of relief. But this is a huge loss, especially to the families that will get affected who have lost their breadwinners. So it is this is a really sad incident that kind of shaken up the city.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Farah Naqvi, for joining us on the program here on NDTV. We'll continue to track all those developments. For the moment, slipping into a short break. Do stay with us.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet.
Welcome back. The Supreme Court has asked the Delhi government to list action taken to control the wastage of water in the national capital. This as the capital is facing this massive water crisis. The Delhi government, which had moved the top court seeking directions to Haryana to release its share of water, has now been told to file an affidavit on how they're preventing water wastage, and this is to be done by Thursday. The BJP has accused the AAP of lying and fomenting the crisis by mishandling resources and demanding answers from its two most prominent faces, Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj. Remember, the BJP has accused them of mismanaging the water, of corruption as well. Meanwhile, Aam Aadmi Party has counter-attacked by alleging that the BJP government in Haryana is not releasing the share of water meant for the capital, and also hit out at the Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor himself saying there shouldn't be a blame game. But as the people of Delhi suffer, politics taking place, as we said yesterday, the BJP accused the AAP government of mismanagement, saying the tanker mafia is intervening and taking away some of the water supply to Delhi. And what is the government doing on this? Well, NDTV's Ishika now reports from the Munak Canal, one of the primary sources of potable water for the capital from Haryana, and she found a water tanker being filled there.
As you're rightly mentioning, that the water scarcity here in the national capital only continues to deepen, and while that is happening, the entire controversy, the entire political back and forth revolves around the Munak Canal, and that is exactly where we are reporting for. My camera person Rohit is in fact showing you the visuals of the Munak Canal here in Bhavana in the national capital. Now this certainly is the lifeline of the national capital, because this is this is the canal from where the water from Haryana is supplied to the national capital, and this then goes to every household in the form of the drinking water. Now in fact, what Atashi here, the water minister in the Delhi government, alleges is that the Haryana is not supplying enough water to this Munak Canal that can be then be supplied to every household here in the national capital. While on the other hand, if we tell you about the Rajnivas, Rajnivas sources tell us that as per the inspection report, it has been found that 2,289 cusecs of water at Munak in Haryana is released, and that in fact if we talk about from Munak to Kakori, that that is the supply of water exclusively for Delhi, that is 1,161 cusecs of water. However, when that water from Kakori reaches to Munak Canal at Bhavana, which is where we are reporting from, that becomes 960.78 cusecs. That means a loss of 200 cusecs when it reaches here in the national capital. And if we convert that into percentage, that is 18% of loss. Now the Rajnava sources in fact tell us that only 5% of loss of water is as per the accepted norm. So that is where the Rajnivas alleges the water scarcity is happening. Now on the other hand, the Delhi BJP in fact has also raised questions on the Delhi government. In fact, they have gone on to say that the tankers that are present here, and we are showing you in our very frame, you can see the tankers that are present here, the private tankers that are present here. The BJP alleges that they are in fact taking water, stealing water from here, and that is why the water scarcity is only deepening here in the national capital. In fact, we are continuing to show you the visuals exclusively on NDTV, how in fact the private water tanker that is present here continues to take in water, and you can see the wastage of water that we are showing you. Certainly you can see that how liters of water is being wasted, and from the time that is for over an hour that we are present here at the spot, this is continuously happening. So you can clearly imagine the wastage of water that is happening from this one private tanker that is present here. So certainly here the wastage of water, that certainly continues. We at NDTV are present at the Munak Canal, the lifeline of the national capital when it comes to drinking water, and here as well we are seeing how the water is being wasted. Now on the other hand, Atashi today has in fact directed the Chief Secretary to form a quick response team and in fact send in to the location where the leakages, where the wastage is happening, and all of that to be fixed in less than 12 hours. But certainly we are still awaiting that the water minister takes cognizance of what we are showing you. In fact, let me show you that after we finish showing you the visuals, it is when the water in fact they have stopped taking more water from the canal that is present here. So certainly this wastage is happening across the city as well. Over to you.
Well, now the latest from Andhra Pradesh, where Chandrababu Naidu is back as the Chief Minister. Chandrababu 4.0. It's the fourth time he is the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. 17 first-time ministers are in his cabinet of 25. Many ex-ministers and senior MLAs are not, in fact, included in this cabinet. There you can see the Prime Minister giving him a big hug on the stage there. And in fact, Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP Chief and Health Minister JP Nadda, Bandi Sanjay Kumar all attended this grand event on the outskirts of Vijayawada. And Jan Sena Chief Pawan Kalyan also took oath, and it is likely that he will be the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh.
నారా చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు అనే నేను కొనిదల పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ అనే నేను శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన
TDP Chief Chandrababu Naidu was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh for the fourth time. It is an impressive turnaround by Chandrababu Naidu, as just few months back he was placed under arrest by the Enforcement Directorate in a money laundering case, and just coming out from the jail he took TDP to a landslide victory in Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections. Today at a swearing-in ceremony, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, along with mega stars from the Bollywood like Rajinikanth, Chiranjeevi and Allu Arjun, who are in attendance. It was also a message that was sent out by Mr. Naidu that they will continue to remain with the NDA, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi hugged Mr. Chandrababu Naidu after he took oath for the Chief Minister. In total, 25 ministers took oath in the cabinet of Andhra Pradesh. Certainly, it remains to be seen from here on that how Chandrababu Naidu will take Andhra Pradesh to new heights, as being promised that he will give 20 lakh jobs, opportunities, reservation for women, free rights for the women in Andhra Pradesh, and also the promise of Amravati being the single city capital of the state. This is Aishwarya Jain with Virendra Sheikh Momin for NDTV in Vijayawada.
With that, time for us to slip into a short break. News updates continue right here on NDTV. Do keep watching.
From defense to manufacturing, India stands on the brink of being a superpower. Join me in exploring this remarkable journey on India Ascents.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity.
Back now, the latest from Jammu and Kashmir, where another terror attack took place, and the two terrorists who had opened fire in a village in Kathua late last night were both killed in an encounter. A paramilitary soldier was also killed in action during the exchange of fire. And two encounters that began overnight in Jammu had dragged into the morning. This included one in Doda, where 5 soldiers and a special police officer were injured in an attack on an army post. Just 2 days before these two terror incidents, incidents. A bus carrying pilgrims had come under attack in Riyasi and crashed into a gorge, killing 9 passengers. So in 3 days, 3 different attacks have taken place in Jammu and Kashmir, a matter of worry for security forces and authorities there.
ये नया इन्फिल्ट्रेटेड ग्रुप है जिसमें कि जिस इस इलाके में आया है और ज़्यादा आतंकवादियों की छिड़े होने की भी संभावना है।
सर क्या ये रास्ता भटक गए थे कि ज़्यादा और थे, क्या ये उनसे भटक गए थे, बिछड़ गए थे, क्या मतलब?
ये अभी डिटेल्स इन्वेस्टिगेशन की है।
छत्रकला की क्या?
छत्रकला में अभी रात को आपको जैसे पता है कि हमारा एक ऑपरेशन आर्मी, सीआरपीएफ, पुलिस सभी का एक जॉइंट ऑपरेशन वहाँ पर उस इलाके में चल रहा था। तो उस जॉइंट ऑपरेशन के तहत जब टेररिस्ट एक्सचेंज ऑफ फायर हुआ है तो उसमें उस इलाके को पूरा कॉर्डन में लिया गया। अभी ऑपरेशन वहाँ जारी है। वहाँ कोई कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुई है, वहाँ पर इंजरीज हुई हैं, लेकिन वो आउट ऑफ डेंजर।
तो यहाँ क्या समझा जाए, जो 2 आतंकी थे उनको मार
2 आतंकवादियों को मार गिराया गया है और अभी सर्च ऑपरेशन इलाके में चल रहा है।
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's just begun his 3rd straight term in office, remains highly popular. A fresh survey by IPSOS on his popularity has, though, revealed that there's been a dip of 5% in his popularity between February and May, even as he does remain popular. If we talk about the different areas which he has handled and what the approval ratings are, well, if it comes to education, it's 73% there. But on the issues of pollution and environment, it is 56% and was 56%, now 43%. If we talk about poverty, then it was 45% in April and 46% in May. And if we talk about corruption, then 42% in April, 45% in May. With that, time for us to slip into a short break.
This is an everyday reality for millions of people with disabilities in India. The truth is, we disable people with disabilities by not considering them or their needs. Disabilities should not define what we can or cannot achieve. So let's bring down these barriers and pledge for inclusivity. क्योंकि जो नहीं किया आज तक, वही तो करना है. समर्थ बाहुंडे, मंजिल उनकी, साथ हमारा.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Good evening and welcome to NDTV. I'm Ankit Tyagi, taking you to the headlines we are tracking at 6 p.m. At least 43 people killed in a fire that broke out at a building housing workers in Kuwait's Mangaf city. Several Indians fear dead. Embassy says 30 Indians injured. Odisha gets first BJP Chief Minister. Mohan Majhi is BJP's tribal face in Odisha. 2 Deputy Chief Ministers also take oath. Two Deputy Chief Ministers take oath with Chief Minister Majhi in Odisha. Swami murder case in Karnataka. Actor Darshan and Pavitra taken to the location. Cops recreate the scene where the body was dumped. Chandrababu Naidu takes oath as Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. 4th term for Naidu as the Chief Minister. Janasena Chief Pavan Kalyan part of Naidu cabinet. Second terrorist killed in an encounter in Jammu Kashmir's Katwa after a security personnel was in fact killed in an attack. ADG Jammu says joint operation to hunt more terrorists on. Right, we are getting some breaking news right at the top of the bulletin at this moment in the Salman Khan firing case, the incident that took place outside his residence. Now, the police has recorded Salman Khan's statement. Remember, it was outside his apartment, the Galaxy apartment in Bandra, Mumbai, where two accused, in fact, fired some shots. This was said to be a warning shot that was, in fact, this entire operation, which the police say was done at the behest of the Goldie Bara gang. Now, Salman Khan has recorded his statement. Post this firing incident, there was a massive increase in Salman Khan's security. Let me go across to my colleague Radhika, who's joining us with more details at this moment. Radhika, Salman Khan records his statement. Any idea of what he has said to the police?
That's right. The information that we are getting is that Salman Khan has recorded his statement in the case related to shooting incident outside his Bandra residence that took place a few weeks back. In fact, police has also recorded the statement of Salman Khan's brother, Arbaz Khan, as well. And now the firing incident, we know for a fact that took place on April 14 when these shooters, in fact, shot at his residence. There were, of course, no injuries. Multiple people were arrested. All these people have connections to Lawrence Bishnoi gang. Therefore, MCOCA, the stringent MCOCA section, has also been added in the shooting. In fact, Lawrence Bishnoi's brother played a key role in the shooting, something that the police has said. In fact, one of the accused who were arrested in connection with the case had allegedly committed suicide as well when he was in custody. The firing was executed as per instruction, during which shooters had received a total of rupees 3 lakh. In fact, Arbaz had issued a statement also on behalf of his family just after the incident. Now, of course, the latest is that Salman Khan's statement has been recorded. Of course, he's been asked about, the previous threats he had received from the Lawrence Bishnoi gang and the events and circumstances leading up to that particular shooting incident as well. Of course, this happened at 5 a.m. when Salman Khan and his family members were asleep. Nobody was injured. The incident came to light just, minutes later when the people had gathered there. And, of course, an FIR was later registered, arrest taking place. And now, of course, the actor's statement being recorded by the police.
Thank you so much, Radhika, for joining us with all those details on this story coming in from Mumbai. Moving on now, at least 43 people have been reported killed after a fire broke out in a building housing workers in Kuwait's Mangaf city. The incident occurred around 6 a.m. local time, that is around 9 a.m. in India. The Kuwaiti Health Ministry has said 43 people were hospitalized due to the fire and 4 of those had died. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has also, in fact, posted on X and has said that deeply shocked by the news of the fire incident in Kuwait City. There are reportedly over 30 deaths and 50 have been hospitalized. Our ambassador has gone to the camp and we are awaiting further information. Remember, a large number of Indians, in fact, live in, Middle East, in Kuwait as well, and work in various positions. Here also, there have been few Indians, those who have been affected as well. The Indian ambassador in Kuwait has said that over 30 Indian workers have been injured in the fire incident and are admitted to the hospital. Let me go across to my colleague Mohammad Ghazali, who's joining us with more details at this moment. Ghazali, is there any clarity at this moment of how many Indians who are actually involved, and has there been any fatalities among Indians as well?
See, 43 people have been killed. How many Indians are there? We don't have a definite data about it, but the sources within MEA as well as from the ambassador's office in Kuwait suggest that majority of them are Indians, because the building was owned by a company, owned by an Indian person from Kerala, and it's a 6-story building which housed more than 150 people. So you can imagine the kind of capacity the building had, that it had more than 150 people who were staying there when the fire broke out at around 6 a.m. in the morning as per the local time. time, and somebody was preparing cooking food early morning. That is when the building caught fire and it spread through the entire building, and many people also tried to escape the fire and started jumping from the building, breaking their bones. Out of the 43 people, what we are hearing is that majority of them are Indians who are killed. Also, right now the embassy back there in Kuwait is also trying to contact the family members of those who have been killed. 29 bodies have reached the mortuary there in one of the hospitals, as well as 30 Indians are injured, with whom the Indian ambassador in Kuwait visited the hospital and met them. So these are the details which are emerging from there. The reason of fire is not known yet. Kuwait's interior minister also came down hard on those who are responsible for this mismanagement, or say the criminal negligence, perhaps that why so many people were putting up in that 6-story building. So he said that the janitor or the owner of the company or whosoever is responsible for keeping these many number of people in one building will also be punished. So action will also be taken, says the interior minister of Kuwait. But as of now, the identity and how many Indians are killed is not known yet. Perhaps in some time, the Ministry of External Affairs here will issue a statement after consulting the Indian ambassador in Kuwait.
Ghazali, may I request you to stay on with me? In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also put up a post on X on this, and he has said the fire mishap in Kuwait City is saddening. My thoughts are with all those who have lost their near and dear ones. I pray that the injured recover at the earliest. The Indian Embassy in Kuwait is closely monitoring the situation and working with the authorities to assist the affected. That's what the Prime Minister, in fact, has said. Ghazali, but you know, as you said, their details are just sketchy at this moment. They are trickling in, and in some time we are expecting a detailed statement from the Ministry of External Affairs. But just to give a sense to our viewers, I mean, Kuwait remains a big hub for Indian workers, especially from Kerala and southern India, those who are stationed in big numbers.
Yeah, certainly a large number of Indians stay in Kuwait, and in this particular incident, the building was owned by an Indian company owner, and most of the people who are staying in that building are also Indians, is what we are being told. And why there is a delay in identification or ascertaining the identity of those who are injured or dead, we are being told that perhaps some of them are in ICU, some of them are in normal ward. So that is why collecting or gathering details of those who are injured is also is getting delayed. So till people are getting...
Just hold on to that thought. We are now being joined by Saeed Mahmood. He's a reporter with Arab Times, joining us at this moment. Mr. Mahmood, thank you for speaking to us. I just want to first ask you, sir, what is the situation as far as this fire is concerned? What is the news that is trickling in on the number of people, those who have lost their life and the injured ones?
Hello, thank you for having me. The situations are still ongoing. The investigations initially showed that the reason, there is no criminal reason behind the incident. It's because of cooking in the ground floor, and then the fact that over 25 or around 25 gas cylinders were kept in that ground floor. It contributed in spreading the fire so far. We met a survival of the incident. He said that he had to wait for 2 hours until he could flee away because of the smoke. Many of the cases of the injured or deaths because of suffocation. And part of them was because of the injuries included bones breaks because of jumping from the windows to escape and rushing. It was announced by Director of Investigations Department in Kuwait Fire Force, Colonel Said Al-Musawi. He said the investigations will be accomplished in a couple of days, and it will be referred to the concerned institutions. But initially, there's no reason, no criminal reason behind the incident. On the other hand, His Highness Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Defense, and Minister of Interior, Sheikh Fahd Yusuf Al-Sabah, he described the incident as a catastrophe. He said it's a result of greedy owner of the company and greedy owner of the building. He ordered them to be arrested until the end of the investigations. He gave directives or instructions for all the violating real estate to remove immediately the violations today, because starting from tomorrow morning, the Kuwait municipality and the concerned institutions will launch a wide range campaign to remove the violations without giving a grace period to them or issuance of any warnings. They are asked to remove the violations right now.
Mr. Mahmood, may I also ask you, sir, is there any clarity on the nationality of the people, those who have died tragically in this incident?
Yeah, most of them are Indians. Most of them are Indians. Until now, they did not identify any other nationalities. All the identified deaths are Indians. That's because of the fact that most of the inhabitants were already Indians.
Sir, can I also once again ask you to confirm the number of people, those who have passed away and those who are still, injured and are getting treatment at this moment?
Yeah, until now there are 30 injured and 43 deaths.
Thank you so much, Saeed Mahmood, for joining us with those very, very important details from Kuwait. Ghazali, as you were telling us earlier, it's very, very grim and, difficult news which is coming in. As far as the reporter from the Arab Times is concerned, at this moment, there have been no other nationality which has been identified among the dead.
Yeah, this is what we are also being told, that since most of them who were staying in that building are Indians, so even those who have been killed or injured are also Indians as of now. Since there is no official confirmation, so we are not carrying with that information, but we are being told that most of them who have died also are Indians, majority of them are Indians. And had there been other nationalities or nationals who would have been killed, you would have seen ambassadors of other countries also visiting the hospital for injured or for the dead. But ascertaining the identity is a big challenge right now, because the helpline number has been issued, but the embassy needs to ascertain the identity first there itself in Kuwait, and then only they can contact their loved ones or the family or relatives back here in India. So there are some laborers who are injured, who are not in a grave situation, who have got minor injuries. So the embassy officials or the local officials are trying to identify the rest of them through those who have got mild injuries there and who are admitted in the hospital.
Very, very grim news coming in there from Kuwait, in fact, where at least at this moment it seems that a large number of Indians, those who have been killed in this massive fire that took place today in the morning in Kuwait. Ghazali, before I let you go, let me ask you one more thing. In fact, what kind of help is the Indian embassy extending at this moment? Because it's just not about identifying those who have died, but also ensuring that those who are injured get proper treatment and, of course, helping in the investigations as well.
Right now, what the Indian embassy there is doing is that the ambassador visited the hospital for ensuring that everybody is getting proper treatment, and also from them they are trying to contact or gather the details of those who have either died or those who are also injured but not in a position to talk, to say that those who have got grievous injuries. So through those who are alive, injured but are in have received minor injuries, these are the ones through which the details of others, either who are dead or either who have got grievous injuries, the details are being collected by those patients. So embassy is ensuring two things. One, the helpline number has been issued for the relatives back in India or anybody who thinks that their contacts are going missing there in Kuwait, for them to contact that helpline number, and from there they can collect the details. Embassy is also ensuring proper treatment of those who are injured, and the third major task is to identify those who are dead. So the identification process is one major challenge. Helpline number is there in the public domain, which has been shared by the embassy on social media as well as through other local channels as well. They are also in touch with the Kuwaiti authorities, the local Kuwaiti authorities there, because they would certainly be in touch with others, the company owner and those who stay in the neighborhood as well. So all those people are being contacted to ascertain the identity as well as the background details and other details of those who are injured in this incident.
Ghazali, but Any idea were all these people, those who were staying in this building, were they from one state? Are they, scattered around various states in India? Any, idea about which state do these people come from?
See, the only details which we have gathered so far is that majority of them or most of them are from Tamil Nadu and Kerala, but even that has not yet been confirmed by the embassy or from the External Affairs Ministry. We are also being told that Minister of State for External Affairs will be traveling to Kuwait. This is something which has just come in from the External Affairs Ministry, that a social media post says that KV Singh, who is the Minister of State for External Affairs, is urgently traveling to Kuwait to oversee assistance to those injured in the fire tragedy and to coordinate with local authorities for early repatriation of mortal remains of those who have died in this unfortunate incident. So this tweet from the External Affairs Ministry confirms that there are Indians who are killed there, and that is why, to ensure a smooth repatriation of those who are those who have died, their mortal remains will be brought back to India. So to ensure that a smooth repatriation of those who are alive and for the repatriation of the bodies and the mortal remains, MOS of External Affairs Ministry, Mr. KV Singh, will be traveling to Kuwait.
Sorry, stay on with me. I'm being joined at this moment by Dr. Farah Naqvi, Assistant Professor at the American University in Kuwait. Ms. Naqvi, thank you for speaking to us. Dr. Naqvi, let me first ask you, what are the, it's a terrible tragedy in which 41 people have lost their lives. What can you share with us at this moment? What is the news that is trickling in the Kuwaiti media?
What I have read in the news is that first of all, it is a deeply sad and unfortunate incident that happened this morning. And it has, that toll has reached around, in fact, crossed 45. And as you must have read, that majority of the deceased are Indians, and several people are also injured, and they have been taken to the nearby hospitals and are being provided medical treatment. The medical teams are doing what they can in terms of providing the due medical care. And what I have read in the news is that this incident happened somewhere around 4 a.m. or early hours of the morning as per Kuwait time. And it happened because of a gas cylinder in the watchman's room. And around nearly 160 people were living, mostly workers, in that building. In Kuwait, generally, when it comes to people living in society, so sometimes the companies rent out the whole buildings to workers. And then there are buildings that are dedicated only to family people, where you have the marriage certificate, and also only those can rent those buildings. So this was one of the workers' building, where around 160 people have been mentioned to be living.
Dr. Naqvi, if I may also ask you at this moment, this building, what area was this building in? If you could describe it for our viewers. We've been told that there were many Asians, especially from Southeast Asia, Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis, those who were living in these buildings.
Yeah, we cannot say that it is specifically an Indian area, because it has happened in Mangaf area, to be specific. And Kuwait is a small country. There are many areas like there is Salmiya, there is Mangaf, there is Kuwait City and all. And most of the places have people, expats living. As you see, the Kuwait population is, I guess, around 4.8 million or something, out of which 3.3 million is expats only. And more than 1 million of which is Indians. So whichever building you rent, you have people who are living from across nationalities. For example, you will be living and you will have neighbors who will be from Lebanon, from American, and so it is Indians or Pakistanis, so different nationalities all staying together. But there are buildings that get specifically dedicated to workers. So this was one of those buildings. In these buildings, generally, for example, one company may rent out the whole building and dedicate it to its workers. So this was this kind of a building. So it doesn't have mostly families. I mean, many times you see workers are from lower economic background, and they have come all over here to make money, and they live in kind of sharing accommodations to save money and all. So this is this one kind of building.
Dr. Naqvi, after this terrible tragedy, how big is a challenge for the Indian government, the ambassador, to provide information to the families, because there are many anxious relatives here in India, those who have no knowledge of the whereabouts of their loved ones in Kuwait?
Yeah, I I've read that the helpline numbers have been released for their assistance, and the news has come from the embassy also that they are ready to provide the fullest assistance. But of course, they will be providing all forms of relief, but this is a huge loss, especially to the families that will get affected who have lost their breadwinners. So this is a really sad incident that kind of shaken up the city.
Dr. Naqvi, thank you for joining us at this moment. It's a big story that we are tracking here at NDTV. Let me just very quickly, in fact, go back and give you more details about this. Revisiting the details, a fire that broke out at a building which was housing workers in Kuwait, Mangav city. This is where this fire broke out at 4 a.m. in the morning. The result of this tragedy is 41 people confirmed dead so far. Most of them are said to be Indians. There are 30 others, those who are injured. Mohammad Ghazali continues to be with us. He's tracking the Ministry of External Affairs very, very closely to try and get more details as far as this tragedy is concerned. Mohammad Ghazali, as we were talking earlier, we were expecting some sort of an official statement by the Ministry of External Affairs because, the problem is that these news which is trickling in unofficial pegs a high number of Indians killed in the death.
Yeah, high number of Indians have been killed in this fire incident because we are being told that in this building mostly Indians were staying, and this was more sort of a labor camp. Laborers were staying there. The company which had given this housing to its laborers is owned by a Malayali person, and even he is under scanner right now for any kind of violation or fire safety violation which would have been noticed there is something which the Interior Minister of Kuwait has said to the media there. We are being told that how Kirti Vardhan Singh, the Union Minister of State for External Affairs, will be traveling to Kuwait to ensure a smooth repatriation of those who are injured as well as the mortal remains of those who are killed. So this is confirmed that Indians have been killed in this incident. Now, how many Indians have been killed? Are all those who are killed are Indians is something which can only be confirmed once the External Affairs Ministry or the Indian embassy in Kuwait confirms through a statement by sharing the data. So this is something which we don't know, but we know that majority of those who have been killed or of the casualty are Indians.
Mohammad Ghazali, stay on with me. We are being joined by Revan D'Souza, Managing Editor, Kuwait Times, for more details on this. So thank you for speaking to us here on NDTV. Let me start by asking you, 43 people have been confirmed killed in this terrible tragedy. Is there any confirmation in Kuwait as far as the government is concerned on the nationality of these people?
Yeah, the number is now almost 50. There's in fact 51 bodies that have been not yet identified, are in the process of being identified. Mostly Indians have been, because they were the largest number in the camp, and I think 2 Egyptians, a Nepali and a Filipino have also passed away. Numbers are still, because there are still some in CCU. So I think the number of Indians are the largest, and it's really sad for us. We woke up in the morning to this tragic news, and the whole area was engulfed with fire. It started something by around 3:15 a.m. early morning, and was put off in an hour and a half. The fire brigades rushed. They managed to douse. By then, the smoke had spread, and many died due to suffocation.
The time that you are mentioning, sir, many of the people would be in their sleep. They might have died because of suffocation, in their sleep. But if I may understand it correctly, what part of the city is this? In which part of Kuwait is this? And can you, for our viewers, just describe these buildings usually which house these workers? Because we heard the Interior Minister in Kuwait also, he said that there was a large number of people staying in this building, and that will also be investigated.
Yes. This area is close to the oil town Ahmadi, where, there are a lot of oil companies and refineries close by in Mina Ahmadi and Mina Shuaiba. So it's most convenient for big companies to house their workers in a residential area like this. Now, the area is densely populated. It's densely populated, and it's also violating many safety standards. And this has come to light today because apparently 195 people living in this building, which is probably not more than half of that capacity should have been. And the government has taken immediate actions in terms of suspending all the people involved, people who, like the municipality and so on, who have been responsible for overlooking these violations. It's very sad and tragic that I think this is one of the largest ever deaths we had in a fire in Kuwait. We've had big fires, but not so many. And it happened early in the morning. And I think, as you mentioned, people were caught unaware.
So before I let you go, let me very quickly just also ask you, at this moment, what are the numbers that we are talking about in terms of the fatalities and those who have been injured? And, any word as far as the Indian embassy is concerned, how many people have been identified and what is the role that they are playing?
Absolutely. Indian ambassador, first let me just repeat, the Kuwait government is on top of it. They've activated all their emergency departments. The hospitals are taking the patients. They are being looked after in the best possible way that they can. The Indian embassy ambassador and his team immediately rushed to the spot, surveyed the situation, visited the hospital, gave them a lot of confidence in terms of support. But there is very little the embassy can do other than wait for the investigation to find out what exactly was the cause. Was it a cylinder blast, or was it a let's say short circuit, or whatever it was? So in terms of support, yes, the Indian government, Indian embassy, they've opened hotline numbers to check about their family members back home, and the embassy is on top of it. I think many of the officers are already visiting and trying to understand the situation. From what I understand from the embassy itself, there are around 51 people, who have not been yet, but it's being worked on, but who are not identified, so missing. So I think they are working on it. There are some in the ICU and so on. So I think it's a matter of, by the end of the day, we will be having a clearer picture and how many are out of danger and how many are in hospital and how many are not. But the total number staying in that building was around 195, and 67 can be categorized as completely safe for now.
Thank you so much, Mr. D'Souza, for joining us at this moment with all that important information which is coming in from Kuwait. A terrible tragedy, and large number of Indians believed to have been killed in this fire that has, in fact, shook the way things have been in Kuwait. With that, we are slipping into a very short break. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
let me give you a quick recap and let's discuss about how Sony used some brilliant marketing back in the 90s for its PlayStation. See, आज PlayStation बहुत ज़्यादा popular है, ये हम सभी जानते हैं. Almost globally it's very popular. Games हो या consoles हो, काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग इनको use करते हैं. But back in the days, back in the 90s, while Sony was trying to establish its PlayStation lineup, काफ़ी interesting marketing को Sony ने use किया था. जी हाँ, I'm talking about the very special scratch and sniff labels from the real driving simulator और फीफा गेम. और ये जो गेम की डिस्क्स मिलती थी, इनके ऊपर एक लेबल हुआ करता था जिसको जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करेंगे, यू वुड फील योरसेल्फ टू बी इन दैट एक्शन. मतलब जो रियल ड्राइविंग सिमुलेटर गेम था, उसमें जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करते थे, यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ पिट स्टॉप. और फीफा में यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ फुटबॉल फील्ड. क्या क्रेजी मार्केटिंग थी, बट ज़्यादा डिटेल में इसको नहीं किया गया था. बट देन अगेन, यू नो, विद इन अ फ्यू ईयर्स ऑफ इट्स लॉन्च, फाइनली अभी ग्लोबल स्केल पे PlayStation इज रियली पॉपुलर.
Hello and welcome. We are in Rome, Italy, on our way to Apulia in the south of Italy, where the G7 summit is going to be held. The Prime Minister will be here tomorrow. It's his first international visit since the NDA-3 government came into power. Why is G7 important? Because it is a collection of the world's most powerful nations. India now is in fact got a bigger economy than 3 of those nations. Italy, the host, Canada and also France. What are the key issues over here? Why is it important for India to be attending? Join me, Vishnu Shom, for very special programming right here on NDTV 24/7.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient.
Welcome back. This is the first time in Odisha a Bharatiya Janta Party government is taking oath. It's been formed. First BJP Chief Minister in Odisha, and a change of guard after 24 long years of BJD and Naveen Patnaik. Mohan Majhi is the BJP's tribal face, who is now the Chief Minister of Odisha. 2 Deputy Chief Ministers have also taken oath with Mr. Majhi. BJP ended Naveen Patnaik's 24-year reign. In attendance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the top leadership of the BJP, along with all the Chief Ministers. And as the tradition would be, a graceful Naveen Patnaik also, despite in fact losing this election, present at this ceremony. Quick break, news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Attended the oath-taking ceremony of new Andhra government. Congratulations to Sri Chandrababu Naidu Garu on becoming the Chief Minister, and also to all others who took oath as ministers in the government. That's Prime Minister's tweet on Andhra Pradesh.
Finally, I'm here. Finally, this is the time जहाँ पे मैं आपके सवालों के जवाब देता हूँ in this section, which happens to be my favorite as well, and it's called Ask TG. Let's see इस week हमारे पास में कौन से सवाल हैं. To be honest, in Android TV, we don't have any such features जहाँ पे आपको live जो सामने speech आ रहा है उसके captions screen पे दिखाई दे जाएं. We are expecting this feature to come कभी भी जब Google इसको unveil करता है, but as of now we don't have it. Samsung, however, in their latest AI TVs जो Samsung ने launch किए थे, उसमें demonstrated that how using AI they were able to put some captions for the text. जो भी dialogues या जो भी speech television में उस time पे है वो सामने captions के form में visible है. Now I'm not sure कि how exactly this functions. Now मैं आपको एक और recommendation दे सकता हूँ, which is to try these bone conducting headphones or earphones, because sometimes what I have noticed is कि जहाँ पे hearing loss की हम बात करते हैं, because they use the mechanism of bone conduction, आप वहाँ से audio directly अपने inner ear के through सुन सकते हैं. So you can give them a try and then pair the earphones with the TV so that आप directly जो TV में dialogues हैं उनको आप सुन सकते हैं. But sadly, as of now, in Android TV, we don't have any such feature of live captions.
Is it safe to leave a pen drive or an SSD in the car during this summer heat?
Ideally, you shouldn't do it. And the simple reason is कि ये जो gadgets हैं, all these electronics जो हम एक laptop की बात करते हैं, let's say talk about a smartphone, SSD or a pen drive, could be anything. यहाँ पे extreme heat might damage the internal components. तो अगर आप अपनी कार में इनको छोड़ रहे हैं तो at least in the glove box if you can keep them, maybe wrapped in a piece of cloth or something, वहाँ पे maybe it's in your bag, तो ठीक रहेगा. But if it's just lying around, because we all know that in this
On the ongoing Delhi water crisis, the Supreme Court today asked the Delhi government to list action taken to control the wastage of water in the national capital. The Delhi government, which had moved the top court seeking directions to Haryana government to release its share of water, has been told to file an affidavit by Thursday. The BJP has accused the Aam Aadmi Party of lying and fomenting the crisis by mishandling the resources and has demanded answers from two prominent faces of the Aam Aadmi Party, Atishi and Saurabh Bharadwaj. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party, in its counter-attack, has alleged that the BJP government in Haryana continues to not release the city's share of water despite claiming to do so. Lieutenant Governor has also come under fire from the Aam Aadmi Party. Another quick commercial break at this moment. News and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
From defense to manufacturing, India stands on the brink of being a superpower. Join me in exploring this remarkable journey on India Ascents.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया, One World Hygiene.
Hello and welcome. India is unbeaten in this tournament, so are hosts USA. The fanboys of the USA meet the superstars of world cricket tonight in a league encounter at the T20 World Cup. Well, the context is that many of them are Indians who had migrated to USA and have made their careers there. At least 6 of them are a part of that USA team that is going to take on India tonight. It's going to be their last match in New York before the party moves to Canada and then onwards to West Indies. Well, of course, India has been on a roll in this tournament. They won against Pakistan in the last match in the most thrilling fashion, not the comprehensive fashion. What are we looking ahead to? We are looking ahead to this match between India and USA at the Cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup tonight. I'm joined at this hour by former India cricketer Ritender Singh Sodhi. I will also be joined by former Test cricketer Ashok Malhotra and Abhishek Nair. Ritender, tell us, in terms of this India versus USA contest, it seems like it could be yet another walkover for India, but will USA make it that easy given the way, they have come in this performance and really dominated with the performances they've given?
Yeah, look, Rika, I don't think so. India will have any problems whatsoever playing USA today. Yes, USA is a good team. They're a good outfit. They've beaten Pakistan, so you have to give it to them. But all said and done, look, India is a better team than Pakistan. India knows how to win the bigger games. They know how to come out of pressure. They have Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Bumrah, Hardik in their ranks. So yes, we can see a good fight by USA. They are a good outfit. Harmeet Singh is there. Saurav is there. So definitely they have some good Indian ranked players in their lineup. But if we talk about that, if USA can beat India, that seems far off. Though cricket is the game of glorious uncertainties, but I have a very strong feeling India will have an easy game today. If they bat first, they would love to muster many runs. They would like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma to get back in that red-hot form. And if they bowl first, they would love to get USA around 70, 80 odd runs or 100. That's it. So it seems at the moment that this game is going towards India.
Right, and there are as many as 6 Indian expats in the USA ranks. They will be gunning for glory. Tell us a little bit about what would they be looking at achieving in this match. You are saying that it's going to be pretty easy for India against US, but of course the opponents, particularly the 6 Indians who didn't get a chance to play for India, will eye it as their best chance.
Yeah, Rika, look, this is a big moment for them. Harmeet Singh wanted to play for India. He was talked about once, a big thing in Indian cricket. We talk about Saurav. He has played under 19 World Cup. And yes, look, everybody wants to play for India. You have to be lucky enough to play for the country. And they were not able to play for India, unfortunately, but they have got that USA cap, that country cap. So that's a big honor. And Harmeet Singh, I remember, left-arm spinner. He was a very hard guy, very hard-working, and he was almost on the verge of playing for India. But that was not to be. Went to US, and now he's playing the World Cup and playing against India, the team where he wanted to get in. So that's not the story though. But yes, he would love to make a mark here, love to get Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and if he can get them, then I can tell you he will not sleep for the next 10 or 15 nights. But that should not happen, because we would love that India should have an easy game. They should be playing Harmeet and Saurav pretty easily. get runs on the board, or if they are bowling first, Bumrah, Siraj and Arshdeep, they should blaze all cylinders and win this game hands down.
On your screens are those pictures of fans who are trooping into the New York stadium at this hour. The match, of course, starts at 10:30 a.m. their time. Ritender, you know, some of these guys who are up against India tonight will perhaps also be eyeing at big IPL contracts through their performances, isn't it?
That's what you have, hit the nail. Because look, everybody wants to play IPL. IPL is huge, and to get IPL contract, you got to be blazing all cylinders, got to be among runs and wickets for your country. And yes, with the way USA has beaten Pakistan, lots of franchises will be already eyeing few players. Who knows? Saurav might be playing in India in the coming IPL. Harmeet might be playing in the IPL. So yes, that is definitely one of the achievements to play IPL, the biggest leagues ever in the world. So yes, definitely. But at the moment, USA will be just eyeing that they have to play well against India, because nobody should say that that was just one good day for USA. They beat Pakistan. They would like to prove the world that they are a very strong and fighting outfit.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about India. Well, in terms of bowling, it was 10 on 10 for the Indian cricket team. But in terms of batting against Pakistan, they fell short. In fact, 119 would never have been enough on the board had Pakistan not had a glorious meltdown. Tell us a little bit about what are the holes that India needs to plug at this hour.
I think that you rightly put in, Rika. 119 was never a big total. And lots of people switched off the TV. They thought India will not win the game. But that was not to be, because Bumrah had some other ideas. The way he bowled those overs, those pressure overs, that changed the scenario altogether. But yes, India would not like to get into that situation again. Bowlers will not win you the match every day. A bowler can have an off day. But our batting is our strength. That is where we beat bigger teams. And that is where India will not like to falter again. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they should get runs. Rishabh Pant is looking good. We are talking about Surya Kumar Yadav, who can change the game on his day. Hardik Pandya is looking good. So yes, we have a very strong batting lineup. And I'm sure if India is batting first today, they would love to get runs around 170, 180. And that should be a good total on this wicket.
Abhishek Nair, former India cricketer, also joins us. Abhishek, a contest that you will be looking forward to in this match, India versus USA?
Well, I think there are a couple, to be honest. Two I'm excited about is Saurabh Netravalkar versus Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, one. And two, I think it'll be interesting how the Indian bowlers, someone like a Jadeja, Akshar Patel, bowl against an Aaron Jones. I think he's been someone who's got a lot of runs for them this season, highest run getter in the World Cup so far. So who's going to get his wickets? He bats at number 4. So I can see someone like a Jadeja being a good matchup for him, especially the fact that he enjoys playing big shots against the spinners. So I think these two is what I'm looking forward to. And then the all-important Bumrah. Can he get a fifer today? Can he do something special once again in his 4 overs is something I'm excited to see.
Abhishek, Netravalkar is someone you have seen very, very closely in the Maidans of Mumbai. Tell us a little bit about what really, I mean, left-arm pacers are always special, but what really makes him stand out in the pack?
Well, I think the most important thing for someone like him, we all know he's not someone who bowls 140, but even at 130, 132, he's someone who really studies the game, very diligent. Obviously comes from the fact that he's an engineer, studied really hard, but he also analyzes the game, understands strengths and weaknesses, very calm under pressure. If you watch that Pakistan game and if you see his process before every ball, was taking a deep breath, collecting, and then sort of bowling that ball, kept bowling those wide Yorkers. So he's someone who's very, very diligent in terms of how he approaches a game of cricket. And I really believe that execution is his biggest skill. So for me, I think what is really important is how Saurabh Netravalkar today can keep a hold on his nerves, especially when he's playing against India, against so many players who played him in the past. He's bowled a lot to Rohit Sharma in the nets of Mumbai. So it'll be important today how he's going to be able to keep his nerves in check and perform at the big stage.
Would you say this match is perhaps India team versus India B team?
I would love to say that. There are a lot of players who've actually been part of the India under-19 setup in that team. The likes of Harmeet Singh, Saurabh Netravalkar, these guys have also played for Mumbai. So there are so many players there. C. Milind is someone who wasn't part of the playing 11, but also played for Delhi. So there are so many good players who also played the IPL. So in sorts, whoever wins today, India is going to be happy. But we rather have the men in blue and orange win tonight.
Abhishek, one of the reasons the World Cup went to US was to find new territory, make the game popular in a new country. Do you think with the kind of result that particularly USA has delivered, ICC has been able to tick the boxes?
Well, I think it's the one word that comes to my mind for every cricketer is hope. What ICC has done today has made a lot of hopeful cricketers, give a ray of hope that if you're not getting a chance in your own country, and if there are other countries who can support the cause, you still have the option of, going through the turmoil and hard work of going through another country, starting all over again, and then coming at the biggest stage, which is the World Cup, and performing. I think it's just given a lot of people hope, and it's a great initiative to see cricket in New York. I said this before. A lot of my friends, who don't get to see cricket in the America, have now got the option of traveling to New York, traveling to Florida, Dallas, watching cricket, showing their children, the next generation, growing about how important and what the values of this sport are, because cricket is a religion for us in India. So, just like you celebrate every other religion, Diwali, every other festival, celebrating this World Cup like a festival for all those Indians with their family is something that ICC has given world cricket. And I think it's only good things ahead for ICC and these tier 2 nations as well.
I like that perspective, Abhishek, and I'll pick up that word hope. It is a big hope perhaps for all Indian cricketers who are unable to get a chance to play for the Indian cricket team. They can probably migrate and play for another country and make a mark. Thank you very much, Abhishek and Ritender, for joining me on the show this evening. Now, bigger, bolder, better, that's what the new logo of our favorite beverage brand, PepsiCo, stands for. The brand taps into the Gen Z crowd globally, the new vision for their identity. My colleague Tanushka brings us this report. Take a look.
Bigger, bolder, better. That's what the new logo of your favorite beverage brand, PepsiCo, stands for. The food and drink maker intends to tap into the Gen Z globally with a new vision for their identity.
So if you look at the new logo now, we've reinforced the branding. Everything emerges from the center, everything emerges from the Pepsi globe. We want to reinforce the brand. We also want to, reinforce the boldness that Pepsi's always had, the dynamism the Pepsi brand has always had.
PepsiCo has brought back the black in its logo, and Tanu Sinha, Director, Head of Design, PepsiCo India and South Asia, tells us more.
So there's a lot in store, like, our Dil Mange More, like your Dil Mange More. We've just launched this iconic line in line with the global Thirsty for More platform, and also I would say in line with what is the real consumer sentiment of today. So when we did a lot of research, a lot of work around this, Dil Mange More was a sentiment that was not only our iconic line, but it was so true as a Gen Z sentiment.
With camera person Stephen Anthony, Tanushka Datta for NDTV.
Hello and welcome. We are in Rome, Italy, on our way to Apulia in the south of Italy, where the G7 summit is going to be held. The Prime Minister will be here tomorrow. It's his first international visit since the NDA 3 government came into power. Why is G7 important? Because it is a collection of the world's most powerful nations. India now is in fact got a bigger economy than 3 of those nations. Italy, the host, Canada, and also France. What are the key issues over here? Why is it important for India to be attending? Join me, Vishnu Shom, for very special programming right here on NDTV 24/7.
Brought to you.
life is anyway quite easy these days because हमको वो cash carry नहीं करना पड़ता है. We can make the payments just using UPI. हमारे phone से instant एक QR scan करके हम payment कर देते हैं. But the question is कि अगर आपके पास में आपका wallet नहीं है और आप UPI के भरोसे घर से निकल गए, let's say you don't get internet signal as well. Sometimes ऐसा होता है और आपको अगर वहाँ पे UPI से payment करना है, how would you do it? Guys, the simple answer is कि आप बिना इंटरनेट के भी UPI से पेमेंट्स कर सकते हैं if you just follow the following instructions. सबसे पहले आपको आपके फोन से डायल करना है *99#. जी हाँ, ये कुछ ऐसा ही है जो पहले हम डायल करते थे *123#, *121#, for all our balance check inquiries. तो जब आप इस नंबर को डायल करते हैं उसके बाद you can follow the prompts और आप जिसको भी पैसा भेजना चाहते हैं उसका UPI ID या फिर मोबाइल नंबर एंटर करने के बाद अपना UPI पिन साथ में ऐड करके पेमेंट कर सकते हैं even while you are offline. It simply means that it's functional and it's secure as well क्योंकि आपको आपका UPI पिन यूज करना होता है. So next time you're in the mountains, next time you are stuck somewhere with no internet and you want to make an payment कहीं पे भी, तो आप कर सकते हैं with the help of offline technique जो मैंने आपको बताया. टिप इज वेरी यूजफुल. याद कर लो इसको, कभी ना कभी जरूर काम आएगी.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Let me give you a quick recap and let's discuss about how Sony used some brilliant marketing back in the 90s for its PlayStation. See, आज PlayStation बहुत ज़्यादा पॉपुलर है, ये हम सभी जानते हैं. ऑलमोस्ट ग्लोबली इट्स वेरी पॉपुलर. गेम्स हो या कंसोल्स हो, काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग इनको यूज़ करते हैं. बट बैक इन द डेज, बैक इन द 90s, व्हाइल सोनी वाज ट्राइंग टू एस्टैब्लिश इट्स PlayStation लाइनअप, काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग मार्केटिंग को सोनी ने यूज़ किया था. जी हाँ, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द वेरी स्पेशल स्क्रैच एंड स्निफ लेबल्स फ्रॉम द रियल ड्राइविंग सिमुलेटर और फीफा गेम. और ये जो गेम की डिस्क्स मिलती थी, इनके ऊपर एक लेबल हुआ करता था जिसको जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करेंगे यू वुड फील योरसेल्फ टू बी इन दैट एक्शन. मतलब जो रियल ड्राइविंग सिमुलेटर गेम था उसमें जब आप स्क्रैच करके स्निफ करते थे यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ पिट स्टॉप. और फीफा में यू वुड एक्सपीरियंस द सेंट ऑफ अ फुटबॉल फील्ड. क्या क्रेजी मार्केटिंग थी, बट ज्यादा डिटेल में इसको नहीं किया गया था. बट देन अगेन यू नो विद इन अ फ्यू इयर्स ऑफ इट्स लॉन्च फाइनली अभी
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I'm Veera Raghav. Our special focus this evening on Chandrababu Naidu taking oath as Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and the Gen Next of the TDP. But first, the headlines that we're tracking this hour. At least 50 people were killed after a fire broke out in a building for housing workers in Kuwait's Magna city. Several Indian casualties feared. Indian embassy says 30 injured Indians are being treated in a hospital. Several states write to the Indian mission in Kuwait seeking details. A change of guard in Odisha as the state gets its first BJP Chief Minister in Mohan Charan Majhi. The four-time MLA is a strong scheduled tribe leader. Two deputy chief ministers also take oath with him. A second terrorist is killed in the encounter in Khatua in Jammu and Kashmir. The Additional Director General tells NDTV operations are on to hunt for more terrorists. This is the third terror incident in 3 days in Jammu and Kashmir. Salman Khan and his brother Arbaz Khan record their statements in the alleged case of gunfire in the Bollywood star's house last month. First up this evening, even as his fans protested outside the police station where he was being interrogated, the case against Kannada film star Darshan Togudeepa, a key accused in the murder of 33-year-old Renuka Swamy, seems to be getting stronger. While Darshan and his associate Pavitra Gowda, along with 11 others, have been sent to police custody till the 16th of June, the police now suspect that after the murder, Darshan paid money to 5 of his associates to surrender before the police confess to the crime and conceal his name. The police also carried out a spot investigation at the bridge in Bengaluru where the body of Renuka Swamy was found. Pratibha Raman with the latest in this serious case against the actor who's called Kannada cinema's challenging star.
With the ongoing interrogation of Kannada star Darshan at Bengaluru's Anna Purneshwari police station, fans have been thronging the place, forcing the cops to resort to mild lathi charge to disperse them. It was the same scene when the actor was escorted to recreate the scene of crime. Shock and disbelief amongst fans, even as the case against the actor seems to be getting stronger and more revelations emerge before the investigators.
Law is the same to everybody. The same law is applicable to me and to him. And law will take its own action. Unless it is proved otherwise, he has to be taken under the law.
On June 10, the accused persons identified as Raghavendra, Karthik and Kesavamurthy visited the police station at 7 p.m. They confessed to the murder of Renuka Swamy. The interrogation led to more arrests, where they all mentioned that money was allegedly offered to them to surrender and conceal the involvement of Darshan. Rupees 5 lakhs was allegedly offered to each of those who initially surrendered.
We come to you from the scene of crime. This is exactly the place where the body of Renuka Swamy, 33-year-old, was found, which triggered a series of investigation procedures that the Bengaluru police followed, and they rounded up on 10 people, and upon interrogation, actor Darshan's name, famous Kannada actor's involvement seemed to surface.
While the police have 6 days custody to interrogate Darshan and his woman friend, the counsel representing the challenging star are hoping to challenge the evidence in the courts as they seek bail for the accused.
Murky as it gets, that case in the world of Kannada cinema. We'll keep a close track of that crime. But now to the big political story down south. A mega swearing-in ceremony in Vijayawada with the Prime Minister amongst a host of national leaders in attendance as N. Chandrababu Naidu took charge again as Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. It's a TDP-led NDA government with 25 ministers including Naidu, his son Nara Lokesh, Janasena Chief Pawan Kalyan as Deputy Chief Minister. One key aspect of the Naidu 4.0 is the first-time cabinet ministers, 17 of the 25, including Kalyan himself. Is Naidu's new cabinet as much about cementing place for generation next of the TDP and Andhra Pradesh as it is about pushing change for the state? Uma Sudhir and Aishwarya Jain report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi with newly sworn-in Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Nara Chandrababu Naidu and the man who would be his deputy Pawan Kalyan. The power star requesting the PM for a meeting with his brother, megastar Chiranjeevi.
Megastar Chiranjeevi. Megastar, power star. Superstar Talaiva Rajnikant Garini.
There was the superstar Rajnikant too, as also a galaxy of union ministers, Amit Shah, JP Nadda, Nitin Gadkari, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and several others. The optics conveying how the NDA government led by Chandrababu Naidu in the state would work with the NDA government at the centre.
Andhra Pradesh would hope that the show of bonhomie would extend beyond the optics to real help for the state that is arguably in dire straits financially and is hoping to conquer many new milestones armed with the blessings and mandate by the people.
Nara Chandrababu Naidu ane nenu.
Chandrababu Naidu 4.0, with the 74-year-old taking oath for the fourth time as Chief Minister, includes 17 first-time ministers in the 25-member cabinet. With 3 ministers from the Janasena
Satyakumar Yadav ane nenu
and Satyakumar Yadav from the BJP.
Nara Lokesh ane nenu.
Nara Lokesh, who became minister the last time through the MLC route, is seen to have come of age as a politician after his 3,000-kilometer Yuvagalam Padayatra across the state. The team includes 3 women and a minister from the minority Muslim community. There are 5 Kammas, 4 Kapus, 3 Reddys, 8 BC, 1 Vaisya, 2 SC and 1 ST community representative. Chandrababu Naidu has said the historic mandate is a responsibility and his first priority would be to build the state capital at Amravati.
ప్రజలు గెలిచారు రాష్ట్రాన్ని నిలబెట్టే బాధ్యత ఇక్కడుండే శాసన సభ్యులపైన మనందరిపైన ఉంది ఈ విషయం మనం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది.
Chandrababu Naidu has made it clear that Pawan Kalyan will be his deputy, the number 2 in his cabinet. Administratively, he would hope that the 17 new ministers will bring new energy, new ideas and innovative thinking to complement the experience of the seniors. Politically, having a new team can also make it easier and smoother for Lokesh to be elevated to the top eventually. With Aishwarya Jain in Vijayawada, with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Well, that's the most important point that we're picking up for discussion this evening. Joining us this evening, Aishwarya Jain from Vijayawada, my colleague Uma Sudhir, who just filed that report from Hyderabad, senior journalist Ramesh Kandula, and political analyst Anurag Naidu. Aishwarya Jain, if I can come to you first, in Vijayawada, if there is one political message today above everything else from the newly sworn-in cabinet, what would that be?
Well, good cooperation with the centre and the economy that Andhra Pradesh needs to revive as something that had been the message from that swearing-in ceremony, as we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi hugging Chandrababu Naidu after he took oath for the Chief Minister. Message was loud and clear with the attendance of Home Minister Amit Shah, Bharatiya Janta Party President JP Nadda, along with several NDA members sitting in that on that particular stage, saying that loud and clear that Chandrababu Naidu is with the NDA and he has full support to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the centre, and with the cooperation they will take Andhra Pradesh forward. Of course, there had been several leaders after the swearing-in ceremony that spoke to us clearly stated that the first most priority of Andhra Pradesh government would be to revive the economy, would be to give 20 lakh jobs as promised, and also to build Amravati as single city. And to fulfill those promises, they need huge amount of funds, and therefore the reason perhaps cooperation with centre and working with Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very important.
Right. As you make that point, Uma Sudhir, we just saw that report that you had filed. Is this as much about all that Aishwarya says, but also about cementing Gen Next for the TDP and Andhra politics in general? Because the two Gen Nexts in Andhra politics could well be Nara Lokesh and Pawan Kalyan.
Yes, indeed. With a very weakened opposition, in fact, that space is going to be opened up a little. Only 11 MLAs. So how much can Jagan Mohan Reddy manage to do in that space? And Pawan Kalyan and the Janasena certainly want to grow. So right now, for Chandrababu Naidu as well, politically, it is good to have Pawan in his own camp and closest to him. If Pawan Kalyan decides eventually to move out and carve his own niche outside of this kind of a government setup, then political trouble actually starts a little more for Chandrababu Naidu, and that is something that he will worry about. the young cabinet in that sense, new faces, 17 new faces in a 25-member cabinet is huge, because many of them actually are first-time MLAs as well. And all of them, if Chandrababu Naidu is going to induct, hopefully they'll bring the energy, the kind of new ideas that that a state like Andhra Pradesh needs now very, very desperately, because they really feel that they lost out a lot in the last 10 years of not having a capital and so on, and therefore that energy. But politically, you are right that while he has very clearly said, yesterday there was this messaging, you know, when the meeting was going on with the NDA, with Purandareshwari and Pawan Kalyan, and on the dais there were two chairs of one sort for Purandareshwari and Pawan Kalyan, and Chandrababu Naidu had been given a more ornate chair, and he said, no, I don't want that, I want a chair just like the others. So the optics was as important for Chandrababu Naidu to convey that I'm treating them all as equals, and that the respect that they deserve, the place, that political space that Pawan Kalyan deserves, he will get it. And that's something that's politically critical for him as well. But yes, having new ministers in the team, maximum numbers, could eventually make the challenges of Lokesh's elevation to the top higher, because someone like Kesineni Nani, who was Vijayawada MP of the Telugu Desam, actually left the party and went to the YSRCP because he did not want to accept Lokesh as his leader.
Right, Ramesh, when we look at purely the TDP-JSP relationship, how do you see this evolving? Because we also are looking at this term of Naidu to cement the Gen Next leadership of the TDP potentially. How do you see this evolving, both between personalities and between vote bases of the two political parties?
I see a new political reality has dawned in Andhra Pradesh. It's a new experience even for CBN. The fact that Chandrababu Naidu is actually running a coalition government in Andhra Pradesh, even though he did not require the support of either Jansena or BJP, that speaks volumes of this new reality. Because he has to take along both Jansena and BJP with him. And the CBN has been trying to be very pragmatic this time. That's why he did not make any demands even on the center in terms of portfolios for his ministers. Within the state, I think he is going to give a lot of importance to Janasena, not because he requires their support. He has more than enough numbers, more than 2/3 majority in Andhra Pradesh. But the new political reality is such that unless he takes along Janasena and Pawan Kalyan with him, I think the optics would be going sour for him. And as for Lokesh, the idea was to anoint him as successor. But now I think with Jansena on the stage, the plans to anoint Lokesh as his successor will have to wait a little longer.
Right. Okay. You're making an important point. Anurag Naidu, would you agree that this is not the time to cement succession as far as the TDP is concerned? That's right. As Uma is saying, having Pawan Kalyan on the side is safer. But is this the time when you see the chessboard moving towards a succession plan, or will that have to wait possibly towards the end of this term?
That certainly will have to wait for the time being, because Chandrababu Naidu has a lot on his plate.
You'll have to unmute yourself.
The vote is really not
You'll have to unmute
Lokesh.
yourself,
We are talking about Nara Lokesh as someone who has evolved now.
Yep. Veera, is that to me?
Go ahead, Naidu.
Sorry, Uma. Yeah. Yes. So,
no,
Veera, I feel.
Uma, I'll just get to you in a bit. Anurag, just quickly make your point, please.
Veera, I think these are the good times, and any politician would like to have a succession plan in place, rolling out when the time is good. And I strongly feel that there'll not be much of a delay in Lokesh's appointment as the party president. And there was a very strong voice within the party. And also, you see this cabinet, there are 165 MLAs, with the entire coterie, and out of the close to 136 with TDP. If you see this cabinet, majority of them are pro-Lokesh guys. The seniors have been left out. The big wigs like Ganta Srinivas, the big wig like Butcha Chaudhary Garu, the big wig like Ayana Pathur, they're all been left out. This is a pure Lokesh favorite cabinet. So it is all signaling that the first 2.5 years, is going to be this team. And there might be a change because there are more aspirants in the party having had so many MLAs. So Lokesh would love to work with this close confidence in the cabinet, and then Lokesh is the helm of the party affairs. So for me, it totally makes sense for Lokesh to take on the party position now, because you don't know what is going to be the equations in the last 2.5 years. One second very important thing, Veera, for me in terms of optics.
Right.
Prime Minister taking along Pawan Kalyan and Chiranjeevi waving to the people. Is it a symbolic gesture to the Kapu vote bank, 27% Kapu vote bank of the state? You have to see it was a special gesture taken by the Prime Minister. Prime Minister of India do not do anything just like that. So it is a calculated move. So we need to see how things evolve. Let's also not forget, Veera, in the last 10 years, I have not seen Amit Shah, JP Nadda and BL Santosh landing one day before in the evening in a state capital, waiting to meet the chief minister of the state and taking an appointment and ending up with one cabinet minister. So we are one short. There's 25 ministers taken oath, total tally is 26. Is that one number that has been left out? Is a trade-off between the speaker position or any other cabinet minister in the expansion of BJP? We need to see. Mr. Naidu certainly is looking at something, some good negotiations going on. I think we still have to see what kind of the situation will evolve.
This is the importance of Vijayawada and, may I add, Patna in Indian politics in this term, Anurag Naidu, that we will have to see those symbolic aspects. But Uma, you've heard the comments that have been made. One aspect of it is Pawan Kalyan himself being the Deputy Chief Minister, establishing that chemistry between TDP and JSP. But more importantly, there is an ongoing chemistry between the two of them. Let's not forget, Pawan Kalyan was instrumental in bringing the BJP and TDP together. How do you see the TDP's own succession plan play out in this kind of a political situation? Very briefly.
So Anurag is right that the first 2.5 years, 3 years, I certainly don't expect any changes, because the mandate is really very clearly for rebuilding of Andhra Pradesh, and that mandate has actually come with a lot of weight of the Chandrababu Naidu kind of performance in government and as a chief minister as well. But yes, eventually it is Lokesh who will have to be elevated in the Telugu Desam. That would certainly be the plan of Mr. Naidu, and therefore the last couple of years the changes may occur. And the second pointer about the Prime Minister actually waving the hands, I would, the visual also shows Pawan Kalyan actually whispering in the ears of the Chief of the Prime Minister, and he directs him towards Chiranjeevi, and therefore I think it's a directed kind of a shot that eventually came about, that became the picture of the day, with the Prime Minister actually holding the hands of the mega star and the power star and waving to the crowds there. But yes, BJP also has political ambitions in Andhra Pradesh, remember that, and therefore the 8 seats that they won this time certainly was on the strength of the TDP and the Janasena batting for them on the ground, but they would want their own political growth as well, and that's the reason why Satya Kumar Yadav has been chosen there. He's a BJP man, BJP man. And the second point is, yes, the BJP is also looking for a star value like a Pawan Kalyan to act on their behalf in a state like Andhra Pradesh, where then they will hope that they can add to the momentum of a Pawan Kalyan's Janasena and go forward. That could also be a plan that the BJP could adopt.
Very quickly, Aishwarya, you're the man on the ground closest to all those whispers. Very, very briefly, just let's say 10-20 seconds. What are you hearing? Are you hearing anything concrete about what the strategy of the TDP as far as the next 5 years is concerned?